Hey everybody, welcome to the Uke Revolution. I'm Brooke and you're watching a lesson for I've Got the World on a String. We're doing the Peggy Lee key today. If you want the Frank Sinatra key, you can use these chords and capo 4. So in this lesson, we'll learn the chord shapes we need to play the song, a couple of strum patterns that you can use, the chords for each part of the song. There's a part A and a part B, and then I'll play the whole thing with the lyrics and the chords on the screen, and you can follow along if you want. If you want to find different parts of the lesson, you can use the timestamps below. Maybe you want to watch the whole thing, maybe you don't. You control the video. You can stop, you can practice, you can go back, you can slow down. This is a set of information, not a personal one-on-one lesson, so you are expected to have to stop and practice things. And there's a PDF song sheet for this song. If you're interested in accessing that PDF song sheet along with the whole member library, there's almost 600 song titles in it now. You can join on Ko-fi or on Patreon. There are links in the caption. When you visit the links, please read all of the information about the membership program and how we share the library before you join. Let me put the chords on the screen and get my uke. Okay, we have B flat 6. B flat 6, you might notice, looks a lot like G minor 7. They have the same shape. And you will find this with all minor 7 and 6 chords. They have a related or corresponding chord. We're playing in B flat today, so we're calling it B flat 6. Already kind of a scary chord. Okay, A flat 7. So in this song, A flat 7 is a passing chord. It's played very briefly. So you can either just play the bottom 3 strings. It's the 2nd fret, the E string, and then the 3rd fret, the C and the A string. Because the next chord that follows it in the song is G7, which is the same shape. It's just moved down 1 fret. So this is a handy little way to get around the A flat 7 shape, just playing the bottom 3 strings, or you can just eliminate it entirely. And I'll show you that, like when we look at the parts of the song and the chord patterns for them, I'll show you how you can take out the A flat 7, and I'll show you how this happens when we look at that. Just to let you know, if you want to play the whole entire shape, you're going to use your pointer finger on the G string here on the 1st fret, and then you got E string 2nd fret, and the other 2 strings C and A on the 3rd fret. But I would really not recommend doing that. You might as well just play the bottom 3 strings because it happens so fast. C minor 7, barring the 3rd fret. F7, so we have the 1st fret, the E string, the 2nd fret, the G string, the 3rd fret, the C string. B flat major 7. E flat 7. For these E flat shapes, you can leave the G string open if you like. So you're either going to bar the whole of the 3rd fret and then you got your middle finger here on the A string. Or you can play just these bottom 3 strings as a little bar like this. Or you can use fingers, separate fingers to play them. It's up to you. I like to use the bar shape. D minor 7. C sharp minor 7. So these also come back to back in the arrangement of the chords. So if you just take this D minor 7 shape and pick up your pointer finger and then move all of this down to the 1st fret, that's the C sharp minor 7. So that's one way to approach it. D minor 7, C sharp minor 7. Or you can use these alternate shapes. So these are on the 5th fret and the 4th fret. This is a D minor 7. And this is a C sharp minor 7. It's up to you, whichever one you find easier or more efficient. And then we have D7 and C7. So let's look at part A. Part A is much more complicated than part B. In between all these forward slashes, we have 4 beats. So if you see a chord name or a hyphen, that represents 1 beat. If you see 1 chord name inside 2 forward slashes, it takes up all 4 beats. So we have B flat 6 for 2. A flat 7 for 1 and G7 for 1. So here's that spot where you might just take out the A flat 7 and just play G7 to make it simpler. It's up to you. C minor 7 for 2, F7 for 2, B flat major 7 for 2, E flat 7 for 2, D minor 7 for 2, C sharp minor 7 for 2. The next chord is C minor 7, and that has the same shape as these whole bars up here as we had for D minor 7 and C sharp minor 7. So that's why that's like a nice shape to use, the ones that are on the bar, because you're just moving down like this to play those 3 minor 7 chords in a row. So there's C minor 7 for 2, F7 for 2, and we do that again, C minor 7 for 2, F7 for 2. So I'm going to play these really slowly because there's so many chords. Really slowly with a down strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 3 different endings depending on which part it is. For the first part A, we're going to use ending 1, B flat 6 for 4, C minor 7 for 2, F7 for 2. The second time it comes around, B flat 6 for 2, E flat 7 for 2, B flat 6 for 4. Ending 3, this is the final part of the song, the last part A, it's just B flat 6. And that's to end the song. If you want to repeat parts of the song, I'll show you later when the lyrics are on the screen. We have a note about how we can turn around at the end of the last part A to go back to the beginning of the song. If you want to take out the A flat 7, I'll just play this first line. If you want to take out the A flat 7 and just play G7 for 2, it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat 6, G7, C minor 7, F7. And then let me show you part B real quick. So part B, we have D7 for 8, G7 for 8, C7 for 8. Then we have C minor 7 for 4 and F7 for 4. So this is the Life is a Beautiful Thing part. So with a down strum, we'll do this a bit quicker because there's not so many changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. D7. G7. And then we're back to part A. Let me show you a couple of strums. So this song, like a lot of jazz standards, has a shuffle. Dum da 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a really good shuffle strum pattern is this first one. Down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk. This strum works well with this song because we do a lot of changes that happen every 2 beats. So those chords like in part A that happen every 2 beats, we would play down, up, chunk, up for one of the chords. Down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk, up. So if I play part A with this first strum, and for the A flat 7 and G7, I'm just strumming down, and I'm just playing those bottom 3 strings. 1, 2, down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. F7, B flat, E flat. Ooh, I did the other one. And I'm doing ending 1. B flat 6, C minor, F. And then the second strum here is island strum. I put some chunks in it, down, chunk, up, chunk, up. And this will work well for the chords like in part B, where we hold a chord for 4 whole beats. And those 4 beats would be 1 round of the strum pattern. So I'm going to play part B with the chunky island strum, down, chunk, up, chunk, up. Chunk, up, chunk, up, down, chunk, up, chunk, up, B7. G7, C7, C minor 7, F7. You can use whichever strum you like for whichever part. If you use the chunky island strum for those chords that change every 2 beats, then the first chord in a bar will get down chunk and the second chord would get up, chunk, up. I'm going to play just this third line, the C minor 7 F7 with the island strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Down, chunk, up, chunk, up, down, chunk, up, chunk, up. This moment reminds me there is an alternate shape for F7 that I would prefer to use, and that is barring the 5th fret, and then you got your middle finger on the 6th fret, the A string. Makes it a little bit easier to change from that C minor 7 because you're already using a bar, right? I don't know why I got so detailed with the singing note this time. The version that's famous, the Frank Sinatra version, he completely changed like the opening line. So I wanted to show you both because some versions people do the standard way that it was originally scored. It was originally written. And then both Frank and Peggy sing it this different way. So you can choose which one you want. And I tabbed it out so you know what this is. This is the first 3 notes. I've got the original score, and some cover versions, they do the original way instead of the Frank Sinatra way. I've got the world on a string. So we're starting low and have this ascending kind of line. The way that Frank Sinatra and Peggy Lee sing it, we're starting right at the top already. I've got the world on a string. So it's the same note, this one that's in the tab on the E string. This one's lower. This is an octave lower than this one. So we've either got I've got the world on a string, and this Frank Sinatra version, I've got this is up here, the instead of lower. That's it. We're gonna play the whole thing. Let me find where the lyrics are. Here they are. We've got a little bit of an intro. I just arranged this intro for this version. Most cover versions, like they all have these different fancy intro. We just wanted something simple. So we've got B flat 6 for 4, C minor 7 for 2, and F7 for 2. And I have here, you can play that twice. You can play it as many times as you want before you start singing. And one little note about this song and a lot of songs that Frank Sinatra made popular, his singing style is very like casual and conversational. So the phrasing that you're familiar with for this song may not match exactly how these chords are placed over the lyrics. I did it more like straightforward here. But when you sing it, you might end up singing the words and the melody not exactly where these chords are placed over the lyrics, and that's okay. If you have the song sheet, you'll see there's a note on the song sheet about that. I just realized I've been doing this whole thing without my glasses on. Oh, well, here we are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat 6. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. And then as you can see, there's a little note. You can end here with B flat 6, or you can use ending 1 or 2 to turn around and go back to either part A or part B. So if you use ending 1, turn the reverb off for a second. If you use ending 1, so ending 1 came at the end of part A1, right? So if we use this ending 1 here, then that would be if you want to go back and play part A again. If you want to go back to the first part A, or you want to go to the second part A, then you can use ending 1. If you want to turn around to go back to part B again, so, you know, maybe you sing the end of the song here. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. If you just want to go back to do this part B again, then you would use ending 2. Just the same way that we ended here with the second part A to go to part B. So just kind of depending on which part of the song you want to go back and repeat. If you want to repeat the whole thing, you're going to whack ending 1 there on the end of the song to go back to part A. If you want to go back and repeat part B, you would use ending 2. I'm going to go back and do the whole thing from the top. And I'm probably going to do like a little mouth trumpet solo on the second part A. So I'm going to use ending 1, and that is the C minor 7 and F7. I'm going to start with What a World, and then we'll go back and do the whole thing again. How about this? I'll put it on my head. So I'm starting with this line, but here at this B flat 6, I'm going to play 1 bar B flat 6, and then I'm going to play C minor 7 and F7 again to turn around to go back here to part A. So it's just like the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. C, F, I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so and so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. That's it, everybody. I've got the world on a string. If you have any questions, let me know. I reply to all comments here on YouTube that are relevant to the lesson or the channel. And I'm here to help. And I'll see you next time with another lesson and or play along. Happy strumming and stay funky, everybody. Peace out. Bye-bye.